The big picture always was, when we went to the moon with Apollo, it was always believed we would follow it on with manned missions to Mars.
The Americans certainly believe that the moon is just a stepping stone to Mars.
It's now 40 years since man landed on the moon. The next step in many people's minds was a manned mission to Mars. But while orbiters, landers and rovers have all made the journey, no astronaut has yet been close. So why has the red planet proved so elusive?
Political willpower really wasn't there. That's the bottom line. America didn't have the political will to follow through on that vision. She was mired down in the war in Indochina, at home. Really, Apollo, that had started off with such a bang, if you'll forgive the term, had become second-rate television. It just wasn't capturing the public interest. Towards the end of the Apollo missions, in actual fact, reruns of I Love Lucy were getting more viewers than the Apollo missions themselves being broadcast live from space.
We have a liftoff, 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
Mars really is a big ask. I mean, you know, this is not just a technological issue, it's a psychological issue. You're going to have astronauts in a very confined space for a long, long time to get to Mars and back.
Going to the moon is like a trip down to your corner store. Going to Mars is the equivalent of going to a foreign country without air travel. It's a very, very long journey. It's equivalent of a long ocean journey. So we've had to actually get a greater understanding of what it's like to live and work in space.
Today I announce a new plan to explore space and extend a human presence across our solar system.
In 2004, George W. Bush identified a manned mission to Mars as a long-term goal. NASA have begun work on the Orion spacecraft to send another astronaut to the moon by 2020, with a Mars mission to follow. But when are we likely to get there? 2 years ago, NASA predicted 2037, while the European Space Agency reckons between 2030 and 2035. Other experts are split.
I think we'll go back to the moon this century. I don't think we'll be going to Mars this century.
If we were to start tomorrow, realistically, if we were to start tomorrow, we could be on Mars by 2018, 2020 at the latest. The technology is there by and large. We've already put together a very solid mission plan. The Mars Society refer to it as Mars Direct, NASA refer to it as the Design Reference Mission. All we need is to get the go-ahead to actually build that technology.
We don't know how to land human beings on Mars, something the size of Apollo 11 but up behind us. We just don't know how to do it. We know we can go to the moon, but the moon doesn't have an atmosphere. Mars does have an atmosphere, and we don't really know how to cope with that atmosphere for bringing down a large manned spacecraft.
Just last year, one of NASA's Mars rovers sent back this picture of a spooky figure on the planet's surface. Further investigation proved inconclusive, but the image sparked massive interest and furious speculation. It seems with the space race over and political priorities elsewhere, there's one question that will always fuel our desire to complete the mission. Is there life on Mars?
Right up until our very first missions to Mars, we were fairly convinced there was life on Mars.
There's certainly enough evidence of things like water and so on that was once on Mars to make us feel that it would be a very promising candidate for life outside Earth. And obviously if we did find any traces of life on Mars, that would be a phenomenally exciting discovery.
We don't even know what we might be looking for, but certainly a lot of people all across the world are using all sorts of different techniques to look for signs of life in the solar system or beyond. One day we might get that answer that we're not alone, and that will be a huge point in our history.